Pretty sure you guys have been following this, but it's going to be gone. It's out of the news. Basically, it's over. It's here and gone. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, the high school football standout from Memorial High School in Texas, was stabbed to death during a track meet at Kendall Stadium in Frisco on April 2nd, 2025. It started when Austin and his twin brother, Hunter, asked 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, no relation or anything to the basketball player, from Centennial High School to move from their team's tent. He was in the wrong team's tent. Anthony refused, got aggressive, and when Austin tried to move him, I think he grabbed his backpack, Anthony allegedly pulled a knife from his backpack, stabbed him in the chest, right through the heart, and Austin died in his twin brother Austin's arms before paramedics could do anything. Anthony was arrested on the spot and charged with first-degree murder. And I just heard this right before we were coming in here. The chilling words of this guy, the Carmelo Anthony. He said, this is a quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." That's what the 17-year-old guy said to the police. So he's saying he did it. We're going to find out all the facts of the case. It doesn't look good for him, though. But I want to, this is the social media post just in the past few days / weeks from Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. If you could you pop that up, Jakey? Let them know, one guy graduating, whatever
really
honors.
Click on the first one.
I can't really read from this far. Umberto, what does that say?
It says, "Faith that got me, and my work will pay off."
Good-looking kid, stud, kicking ass in school, doing, praising God. And then what's the other one? Carmelo's
what he's
AK.
up to.
By the way, that's a real AK-47. I don't know how he's holding it up like that with one hand. But that's his social media. That's the other guy's social
Is
media.
he even holding it? Does he have 3 hands in that
I don't know.
photo?
I don't know. But by the way, I've held AKs. That's very, very impressive if you can hold that thing up like that. But anyway, and then I want to show a clip of, this is the day of. I want to show this clip of the father talking about what happened. And then I'm just going to say something to you guys before we play this clip. A lot of us, me included, we say that we're Christians, Kelly. We go to church. We do all the right things. And then we're tested in little spots. I catch myself cussing. I stopped swearing to God because you're not supposed to do it. There's a lot of changes that I'm doing. I still fall short of trying to be righteous. I genuinely do, and that's why I'm a sinner. And thank God that Jesus came and did what he did for us. Long story short. But when it's something like this where you're supposed to forgive people, because that's what the Bible says. You're supposed to forgive, and you're supposed to feel bad for people and pray for them for what they do. This is one of the worst things that could possibly happen to you emotionally, and this is a fact, is losing a child. This guy just lost a child. He ran up while he was dying. He's dead on the gurney. In one of the worst ways you could think, stabbed to death in your twin son's arms. Look at how he explains it. You can see a little bit of emotion, but wait till you see what he says about the end about forgiveness. This got me emotional the first time I saw it. Jake, can you please roll this one?
He died in his brother's arms. They were twins, identical twins. And his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding. And he died in his brother's arms. And I rushed up there, and I saw him on the gurney. And I could tell. They said he wasn't breathing. I could see all the blood. I saw where the wound was.
Austin, his father shares, was born 2 minutes before his twin brother Hunter, the two inseparable, as you can imagine. Austin is being remembered as an outstanding student at Memorial High, his football team's MVP, and a young man of faith. His father grappling with loss and forgiveness.
I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet, and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move, and he bowed up. This is murder. I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, we do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person.
Already?
Already. God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of my family.
Wow.
I don't know how.
How?
I don't know how. If someone killed my son.
Okay, the mom got emotional as well. But in this moment, look at the great, like you could tell he's not like one of those talking Christians. He's bro, to say that and forgive. Like have you guys seen those courtrooms where the mother's son was murdered by somebody, and they walk up to the person in court, hugs them. Oh, it's insane.
I hope I never have to experience anything like this, and
Yep.
I get to live my sheltered, perfect life.
Oh.
But like, if that happened,
Oh my
it would
goodness.
take so much faith.
Oh my
to
god, you have to have that.
Have that moment to be able to forgive something like that. If someone took anybody away from me,
Like that.
I don't.
Yeah, and look at the grace.
I mean, there's two things to this. Like you referenced last time that we drove to Starbucks and we're listening to James,
Yeah, we're listening to the Bible.
and James there says you need to profess your faith
Yep.
and then walk the walk.
Yeah.
And this is walking the walk.
Yes,
like
it
this
is.
is being a true Christian, forgetting.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get him back. It's unfortunate. Like this kid had so much potential.
Oh my goodness.
And he died for nothing.
Zero.
Absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Like the most random act of violence.
Yep.
That took the life away of this. He was graduating. He was putting his life together.
Yep.
And it's just sad. And
Well-
and I think his dad is an inspiration
Oh
for
my
all of
God,
us.
dude, big, huge. Because if God forbid stuff like that happens, at least you could take this as an example. But you know what blows my mind? Like when I saw this, I was like, it's kind of weird. Nobody in the sports world lost their minds. You know what I mean? Nobody stepped up for Austin like they did for like when George Floyd was killed. Like think about it, right?
Yeah.
Remember all the teams went crazy. No outrage. There's no protesting. There's no knees. There's no nothing. And I want to ask you guys, what's more tragic? George Floyd, convicted felon, drug addict, robbery convict, who held a gun to a woman's stomach while his friends robbed her freaking house. I don't know if she was pregnant or not. I believe so, but I might be.
I read that she was.
I read
actually.
she might be. Look, anyway, all that stuff, okay? And then yeah, he died from what allegedly all the toxicology and shit is saying was from a fentanyl drug, whatever. It wasn't asphyxiation. What's more tragic, that guy dying or Austin Metcalf?
It's not even close.
Brandon, athlete, honor roll student, 4.0 GPA, hardcore Christian, stabbed through the heart at a track meet. If it was the other way around, by the way, if that white kid stabbed him, what do you think would have happened? What do
Yeah,
you,
a whole big
where
song
would the
and
country
dance.
be like, oh my God, a white kid stabbed a black kid in the heart and killed him. And it drives me crazy. The worst part is we're talking about it. That's why I talked about it today, because I'm like, I'm not going to let it die just like that.
Yeah.
Because this is, as of today, we're on. We're over it. People are talking about, Elon, and I mean, which is good because we're going to talk about, but the main thing that the media is talking about is that. They don't give a shit about this kid. And this isn't like an isolated incident. This shit happens a lot. And it's why it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't destroy the
It's not
country.
guns.
It doesn't push us. It doesn't separate us. And it doesn't help like a president. Like it doesn't help destroy the president that's sitting in. Because no matter what you say, COVID, all that China, BLM, everything was magnified because when you're the president, it makes you look like crap when the country is burning. Okay? And that's what pisses me off. It drives me crazy. I had to write this down. What pissed me off about the George Floyd situation? He was a criminal. Plain and simple, done deal. But the story that they pushed were that cops were walking around and hunting black people. That's what the narrative was, and that's what everybody kept spitting that. And by the way, I was in LA, bro. I went through that where there were like mobs of people going up to white people, Spanish people, eating at restaurants, like kiss our hand or kiss our foot. Cops are racist, and they were fucking going after cops. And I'm like, here's a question that nobody asked, and I want you guys. I didn't ask none of you guys this before. I want your honest answer. How many unarmed black people, on average, are killed by police each year in the United States?
I used to know the answer.
Couple
to
hundred.
this.
A couple hundred. What'd you say?
I used to know the answer.
Take a wild guess. Just guess.
I think it's
How
on,
much you say? A couple hundred?
I think it's on the
40.
probably
Is it-
10.
Bob?
I agree with Humberto. Dozens, maybe. if
Okay.
that.
Average
And then-
15.
Oh wow.
All right.
15. But they make it seem like it's like, especially during that time, that cops were walking around murdering black people. And mind you, this is in a country of 350 million people. Yes, there are racist people. Yes, there are racist pieces of cops. Like, trust me, LAPD, I get it. They've reformed people, but you're never going to fix the problem in its entirety. But to make it seem like it's this big epidemic, oh my God, cops are just targeting black people, you're wrong. You're lying to yourself, and you fed into the propaganda, okay? And then when they say, by the way, in that 15, when they say unarmed, this is the Washington Washington Post story. They did a national survey on crime that they were being lenient, meaning unarmed, meaning he could have dropped the gun or dropped the knife in the process. So the number might be a little bit lower. But like I said, they just use that narrative. But it just drives me crazy that this kid dies and nobody's talking about it. Where's the end racism in the end zone? Where are the marches? Where's the white square? What about this poor freaking kid? And nobody gives a damn.
It's crazy how the media can make like a story live and die, because it was the stupidest, like most fabricated story ever with George Floyd, and they kept it going for like a whole year. But this is like shocking to the highest magnitude, and it's going to die in a couple days.
What's the movie with Haley Joel Osment? Wait, when he was a kid and he...
Sixth Sense.
No. The one where he dies in the end with Kevin Spacey. He gets stabbed in front of the school and he dies.
Oh, damn,
and
I don't
after
know
this whole movie where he like changed all these people's lives, and then a school fight in the schoolyard, he gets stabbed and he dies. And
No American History
everybody's
X.
like...
No.
It's a really good movie. It's a very sad movie.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking
this is
for
what
it.
this makes me think of, and what I like what you said a lot. I like
Pay It Forward.
Yes,
That's a
great
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
great
good
movie.
movie.
Pay It Forward is a great movie. And like, but the message, I'm gonna cry. Shit. That message from that movie was so, because I was like, oh, I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they killed this kid and he changed so many lives. And like, this is the same kid. And it matters what happens after. They forgive. It's an accident. Like, they move on. He changes as a community. Like, so now the kid that stabbed him, what is his life now? And how is he going to pay it forward now that he has his life and he took somebody else's?
Oh, and
I
it's-
think
And what are we doing? It's not just guns. It's also knives. It's the media, not how we're parenting our children. Like, there's so many things wrong. And unless you said, unless it fits the narrative, we're not going to change anything.
No,
unless it fits our agenda.
Yeah, and no, great point, Killian. Why? First of all, why are you bringing a freaking knife to a track meet?
He probably has psychotic upbringing because we created these terrible circumstances from because the CIA pumped drugs into black neighborhoods for the last 100 years.
But
So,
Rob pointed it out last show. He was like, "How come this Tesla thing with Elon's baby mama has been on the news, and the Signal thing was on the news for like 2 or 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and this didn't even make a bleep and disappeared." So what you're doing, Vinny, right now, like keeping the
I'm keeping
story
it alive.
alive, it's our responsibility because now we are the media.
Yeah.
So-
no, because it's
just so
unfair.
sad,
It's unfair.
everything.
It's
It's
gone. It's
unfair.
here and gone, and nobody gives a shit. I'm just wondering where all these sports people are. This is an athlete. Probably could have gone to college, but now he's freaking dead, and nobody wants to talk about it because it doesn't fit your shitty narrative. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.